the so-called Kristallnacht. In many neighbourhoods, people will go around and place a rose or a candle on every Stolpersteiner in a neighbourhood, and that can be a lot, so it's quite an extraordinary devotion. There is a name that I think all of you will know on one of those little stones that protrudes from the wall at the cemetery back there. The name is Annelies Frank, or Anne Frank, the young girl who kept a diary when her family were in hiding in Amsterdam during the course of the Nazi occupation. Nice view of the skyline, just down there to the right-hand side as we drive out. So Annelies and her family lived in Frankfurt. She was born in 1929. In 1934 they fled to the Netherlands because they saw what was coming here. The father, Otto Frank, was able to set up a business in Amsterdam, and he had 2 people working as his secretaries. But then the Nazis came and occupied the Netherlands, and the secretaries took great personal risk to hide the family in an annex of the house. They were there in hiding between about 1942 and 1944, and there's much conjecture about how they were discovered. Was it a betrayal, or was there some other way that the Nazis found out they were there? In any case, the family were arrested, taken away to concentration camps, and the family was split up. Anne and her sister Margaret were sent first to Auschwitz, but eventually to Bergen-Belsen, which is in Germany. We will actually drive past signs for that camp during the course of the coming days. And they very sadly died there in February or March of 1945, so close to the end of the war, probably from typhus. Their mother also perished. Only Otto, the father, was able to survive. He returned to Amsterdam, and the secretary, who had done so much to protect him, presented him with the papers they'd found strewn on the ground, which were all the writing that Anne had done. So Otto Frank was aware that Anne had harboured a desire to become an author, but he couldn't deal with the grief initially. But after a couple of years, he decided to have the papers published. So the book was first published with a title something like "The Girl Hidden in the House," something like that. But eventually it was translated into English, which brought it great international awareness, and it subsequently has been translated into about 70 different languages, and one of the biggest selling books ever written. So that young girl came from just across the way there. Her life took her to Amsterdam, and then sadly, of course, she was a victim of the Holocaust. But it's very interesting because I'm sure you've all heard of her. It's almost never the case that we would have somebody who wasn't aware of Anne Frank. So I just think it's very interesting to let you know about that. Now, I need to do practical things before we get back to the hotel. For any of the folks that I haven't met yet, I want to give you that I didn't meet this morning, I want to give you your little envelope that's got your luggage label in it. So these labels are to go on the top of your main suitcase. The porters will come and collect these tomorrow at 7 a.m.